Hello, welcome back to this channel. Today's gonna be an incredibly busy video because first of all, we're hopefully gonna be doing the ecosystem today and completely finishing up, and hopefully by the end of the day we can go ahead and put the fish in. Now I would really like for those fish to, well, for the fish tank to kind of cycle through for all that like stuff that we don't want in there to kind of go through the filter and kind of be just killed through there. We're also gonna be planting a lot of stuff. Right now, I have no clue when we're going to be planting and germinating. So before we do go ahead and start today's video, please subscribe, hit the notification on all so you not miss our video, and please like this video. Let's go ahead and start today's video. So, ecosystem-wise, all the stuff in the fish tank that I had to move originally is still living. Nothing's died out yet, which is really, really good. So, it's been about 2.5 days since I ended up gluing the back of it and the bottom egg tray to it. So, I'm trying to consider what, well, when I lift up on the sides, it is a little bit unstable, but there's still an absolutely insane amount of glue under it. So I think it should hold, hopefully. So I think the plan is I have this. That is a mixture that was originally under it, and then over time it's just really mixed together, and I really couldn't take out both of them. So I'm thinking I'm going to do a small layer of that on the bottom, and I still have some extra substrate that I didn't use all of it, and I guess I'll probably go ahead and use those, put down the very bottom, do the main substrate soil layer, and then I'm going to do sand on top, and then with that I'll pretty much do everything else. But I need to do it pretty quick because I need to start filming my second video for that. And if you guys do want to check out my ecosystem build, please do check that out. It was a pretty expensive video to film, and it took an extremely long time to edit and film, so I'd really greatly appreciate it if you would help support that video. But just kind of talking about plants, I'm starting to germinate a lot of stuff. Now the problem is, it is March, beginning of March. I think today is like March 6th, but I will say, it just snowed. Everything outside is officially frozen once again, and then it looks like we're going back in the spring, but it's going to be a little bit of a gamble type of thing if I really do start sending stuff outside, because I can't say yes or no to if it's going to snow again, because it's just, the weather here is so unpredictable. So I'm trying to figure out, if I would plant everything, what day would it be? And I think I'd probably plant everything either beginning of April or after April 13th, which is the last winter frost of hopefully last one. So I'm thinking a lot of stuff will go outside a little bit earlier than that, but I'll probably start preparing very soon actually. Probably not this week, probably not next week, maybe the week after that, and start tilling the soil and start getting everything ready for this amazing season coming up. So I'm thinking flowers do tend to take a little bit longer to grow. So I'm trying to think what I need to plant. Because at some point I need to go ahead and start planting the peppers. I need to start planting the tomatoes, but both of those grow so quickly. So I'm trying to figure out, do I really need to start planting anything yet? The stuff that I have already planted needs a lot more time, like the strawberries I just planted, the rosemary and lavender, because those ones take an absolutely insane amount of time to really start germinating and start growing. So I will say that, but I'm trying to figure out if I should go ahead and start planting the flowers, because once it starts getting hot in this area, all the flowers are not going to make it. So I'm trying to figure out, do I want them to be almost ready to flower when they do go outside, or do I want them to be extremely small plants? So I'm thinking I might go ahead and start planting them today. All of them, maybe. Some of them, maybe. I don't know. I really need to go through each one and kind of figure stuff out, and I still have those also. So I'm thinking I could do these multiple ways. I could either put them in this, and then I'd have to transplant it pretty quickly after it's already grown, and then it would probably go on this after. So I'm trying to think, what would be the point of doing that when I could just go ahead and plant them already in this? But the thing that makes that this way a little bit more attractive is because if the seeds don't germinate, then I don't have to worry about going through empty space on those trays. So I might actually start them that way, and kind of see how that goes. So I don't really have shelving designed for those, so I'm gonna have to grab some like clothing bin lids and kind of put those under kind of like what I have down there. And yeah, I think that'll be the main plan. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of start preparing a little bit and start figuring out the seeds, and by the time I pick up the camera next, hopefully I'll be ready. All right, so I have the tray completely ready. I'm thinking I'm gonna try to do as much as possible. I'm gonna start with Snapdragon first. These seeds are so incredibly small. We got a little bit left in the bag, so let's just try to get those out. And those are really stuck to the bottom. Wow. Okay, so Snapdragon, that's how they look. All I'm gonna do is kind of lay them over here, and then I'm just gonna want to just grab a little bit. You know what, I could probably just grab a little bit, and then I'm just gonna go throughout these and just try to dump what I can in each one. I'm gonna try to do 2 rows for each thing I do plant. So some will have a lot, some won't. We'll just see how stuff does over time. But this could be very cool. I'm very excited for this one in particular. This pack really gave a lot of seeds. Wow. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep doing this, and then what we're gonna do after is I'm just gonna kind of leave it, go through each row with different seeds, and then what I don't do, I'll kind of do later on. And then I'm obviously not gonna do all of them on camera, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this really quick. Make sure you do label stuff, like see how I've labeled stuff right here. So I'm just gonna kind of slide that under for right now, where I can label that area, and then I'm gonna go ahead and grab the next one. I'm gonna do these 2 rows, I'm gonna do these 2 rows, I'm gonna do these 2 rows, those 2 rows, and then those 2 rows, and then we'll see where that goes. So I'll see you guys in a second once all of this is done. All right, so I finished all of them. Now we have 2, well, technically 3 last very important things. First is the soil. All we have to do is kind of sprinkle it on top. Don't do anything like too crazy, and don't pack it down. All I would do is kind of spread it out, like kind of like that, and just kind of do it throughout the entire thing. And then once you do that, you need to go ahead and water everything lightly. Don't do anything very high pressure with like a hose or something. If the hose has like a nozzle or like a connecting piece that can mist it onto it, do that. That is phenomenal. But I don't have that, so I'm going to be using a water bottle with little holes at the very top, and that works perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to tape these on the front so these don't get wet. And then that'll be pretty much it for planting these so far, and then I'll have to figure out where I'm going to plant everything else. All right, I pretty much completely finished just all of it. I ended up watering it all. I ended up adding some soil on top of those little ones that ended up going down a little bit more, kind of just sinking down, especially the Cosmos side. That one really seemed to go down a lot more, but we got a lot of flowers we're going to be working with, and I'm very excited to work with those. That color kind of looks like an Easter variety, which is really cool. Same with that. I do think some of the ones that'll be the coolest is going to be probably Snapdragon, and then Aster right there. I do think that one will be a beautiful flower. There's still so many other flowers too that I didn't get to. The zinnias, the marigolds. These are going to be the bigger ones. We got Cosmos too. We got daisies, and for some reason daisies are just so hard to grow. And then I got California poppy seeds, and I don't think I have any poppy seeds growing over there besides in that one tray right there currently. But there is that. So there's still a lot of other stuff to do, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of figure out what to do next. All right, well, I was actually looking more into the fish tank, and I'm thinking I might give it another 24 hours, because just in case the fact that any glue has not dried out, I'm gonna just try to give it some extra time just in case, because once I do put the water in and the glue is still wet, the glue will just kind of not work, and it'll just kind of float up again, and then I've gone through even more supplies that I could have just waited another 24 hours on. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Plus all the fish in there are still thriving, doing very well, so I think they could probably last one more day. And then yeah, so this might actually be the end of today's video, because there's there's really not that much to do. It is still very, very, very incredibly early into the season, so it's not like I can really start everything. I will most likely start everything else in about a week or a little bit less than a week. A lot of the stuff will probably go outside when it first starts. Like the cucumbers and melons, I'll probably start outside. The pumpkins, we've had a lot of problems with, so I think I might start the pumpkins indoors and then plant them outside. And then there's still so many other stuff. Like corn will probably go outside. We won't do anything to those. The peas will probably be soaked inside for about 48 hours or 24 hours, somewhere in that area. And then those will go in pots. And then, we'll just kind of see where that goes over time. But I decided I'm not going to do any of the sunflowers either yet. And once it's time to plant them, I'm just going to plant the seeds outside. I've grown them indoors before, and they just don't really do that great indoors for some reason. So there's that. But I will say I'm very, very excited for that, and we'll just see how stuff goes. I think it'll probably take about 3 days before I really start noticing anything or any progress. So I'm just going to keep a pretty close eye on it, and I'll give you guys a few updates here and there throughout the next week. And and I'm going to be talking about a lot more information about kind of the business idea that I'll be studying in about 2 years. And yeah, so very, very excited for all of that, and I'll be covering all of that in the informational plant tour. So if you guys just want to hear a lot of information and hear me talk for a very long time, you can just check that video out. I post that informational plant tour every single day, and we talk about brand new stuff in all of them. So every day is a great day to start talking about these. It's kind of interesting to see what the camera does, because I'm just watching it and it just blurs out random stuff as I barely move the camera. Like the shelf down there is blurred. It's interesting. So must be a new update in that area, because I've not really noticed that before. But other than that, this is going to be the end of the video. So if you guys like these types of videos, please subscribe, hit the notification on all so you not miss our video, and please like this video. I just really want to give a second and thank you all so incredibly much for watching today's video and supporting the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow when we post next. Peace.